That was so.
Folks and all, welcome back to Hungover in Devotion. We are
Motion. We haven't been demoted yet, have we?
no, I don't think I said that today. Well, we're all struggling on what is an historic occasion. Tim's got the sunglasses on, Liam's down in the water, Andy looks horrendous. Polly is on the whiskey. You're the only one who's got a bit of energy this afternoon. How was that?
I don't want to start
Bloody
talking
hell.
about it because I feel like I'm going to cry.
That's
Genuinely.
the whiskey, that's the whiskey.
No, this is the first whiskey of the day. I should add it is 12:05 in the PM as we're recording this. That's not a great sign. No, I don't know. It's just emotions. Let's shall we say, all in the feels of the fact that we saved our best performance of the season for when it mattered most. On the back of our best performance of the season before that, which was Blackpool away, I thought just the fact that historically, obviously it's been different the last few years, but historically, previously, any big games we get, we have a tendency to not quite get over that hurdle, or we'll be poor but just scrape over the hurdle. And then yesterday was just from the first minutes to the last was just bang on it. It was phenomenal.
What a circus.
Yeah, I think we should give it a shout out for the assist there to Nathan Jones. I think he played a really big part there in helping us get over the line.
Absolute idiot.
Oh,
what a clown. What a clown.
There's angry Andy already.
I did enjoy the use of the
angry,
word misquoted as well afterwards.
Misquoted. Yeah, that's a classic, isn't it?
I did use those words, but I was misquoted.
Yeah, I get his. It was like I was misquoted and misconstrued, or it was misunderstood. The misunderstood bit, okay, maybe, but the misquoted, it's like these are the words you said. These are the exact words you said.
It was on video, Nathan. It was in a video interview. Tim, I mean, Polly touched on it there with the fact that new Wrexham, post takeover Wrexham, seemed to win the big games. Last third of the season, we just always win them, and we save those performances. We're talking Notts County, Stockport. I mean, and this is just another one to add to the list, isn't it?
Yeah, I chatted with Andy in the pub before the match, and I said that they always do it this time of year, that kind of mentality monster thing that just comes out of them. And we all kind of felt that maybe there was a statement win incoming, because we kind of not had one at this sort of stage of the season. We've kind of had one earlier, but so to back up our best away performance with our best home performance by some mile, like arguably the best under Parky. It was just from the first minute to the last, we just never looked in danger of losing that game in any way, shape, or form. It was total control, total domination. There's not one Charlton fan that's come out and said otherwise, because they know full well that, anybody can see how good we were today. And it was just to do it in the manner we did it, in the performance. Every player on that pitch, if you go down the classic case of wanting to give individual marks, that every one of them was a 9 easily. They were so good on it from the get-go. The second balls they were winning, just relentless, and classic case of a team who really, really wanted it more, and to come within, so close to such a massive achievement, and to go out there and play with almost like a freedom. Like, there's so much pressure on it, but they never showed that pressure at all. If any team showed how much pressure was on them, it was our opposition, and they absolutely crumbled like a pack of cards.
Gilpo, I'll come to you in a minute. Liam, can you give us a sense of just how historic this is? I mean, did any of us really think that we'd be in the Championship within 3-4 seasons of the takeover? It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
We were all mentioning the C word, weren't we, before the season, consolidation, because I think realistically that's what we expected. And, it was just such a strange day. It was just one of those where everything fell into place. You had the early game before that where Leyton Orient beat Wickham, who I'll credit to Andy Gilpin. They've run out of steam. I'll admit it now. But it was just watching that. I watched that game at home because I wanted to buy myself a bit of time later in the day for in case we went up. And yeah, when that header went in, went nuts. I saw videos of places like Hill Street Social went absolutely nuts in there as well.
I don't know. I just felt quite relaxed throughout the day because there's something about, I think doing a Wrexham has changed its meaning now. Doing a Wrexham is winning promotion back to back to back, and I think it wasn't until I got home. I mean, admittedly I was a few sheets to the wind, but I literally just tears rolling down my face when I got in because I think I started absorbing watching all the videos, seeing Rob and Ryan hugging each other, seeing all the interviews, and it just really, really kicked in. It means everything basically.
Andy, you're looking great. How were the celebrations?
Pretty good. I think it was in Checkers. I know if you don't know what Checkers is, it's a Wrexham institution. It is,
just talk a bit louder for us, if you could, Andy, or turn the mic.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Because I don't have my microphone because I'm at home. Yeah, I went to Checkers. Brilliant. Stayed there till about 2:30, and then.
At your age.
Yeah, I know. This is why I look like shit. But the day as a whole, I mean, it was a free hit in many ways. Especially a big thank you to Leyton Orient, who absolutely hammered Wickham 1-0. But they
ran out of steam. They ran out of steam.
Yeah, but they set us up, and I just knew as soon as that result happened that this team were going to do it, because full credit to Phil Parkinson. I even had someone in the pub saying yesterday, right, okay, so now's the time. I'd have a lot of respect for him if he just walked away now.
People are mad. What is wrong with people?
And said, thanks for getting us up those 3 seasons. Now, he'll realise his limitations and walk away in the Championship.
People have been saying this for 2 years as well now. They're like, he's not the right man to take you to League One. Oh, he's not the right man to take you to the Championship. At what point do you just say...
He's not the right man to win the Champions League.
Put some respect on the man's name, though, innit?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We say he never changes his formation, but there are little tweaks to his tactics, to the style of play all the time. And as he gets new and better players, the way that we play changes. So, I said this last week, Rodriguez is more of a deep lying player who has solidity, and Smith is the all-action front man. Now, if you give them all 9s, I think he's a 10, because yesterday he was fantastic. Best performance, scored 2 goals. Felt a bit sorry for him coming off, to be honest, because I'd wanted him to go and get that hat-trick because he deserved it. But, when we did Fearless in Devotion live on Thursday, and thank you for everyone who came to that, especially the guests. Now, Sean Harvey said, he was asked a question about transfer fees, and he said, look, it may be that Sam Smith isn't worth 2 million, but he's worth 2 million to us, because what we paid for him has got us over the line in League One. And that 2 million has probably opened up 15 million at least in TV money by getting to the Championship. So, we do question Parky at times. Sometimes the style of play is hard, but it's effective. And 3 promotions in a row show how effective it is. And I would happily bore my way all the way to the Premier League.
Is it mad that we're talking about this now as being a realistic proposition? Because I was saying yesterday, I watched the game. I was very sad to be the only one here not there. I was watching the game in Blanco's, which is an old pub and hotel in Port Talbot. Don't ask why.
And horrific, mate.
It was.
I watched it in Blanco's in Port Talbot. Absolute gash.
I'm going to make no comment. It took 15 minutes they had to get a manager over to approve changing the channel from Ronnie O'Sullivan on TNT. So that was I got it on 30 seconds before kickoff. I was very stressed. But however, I got chatting to a chap there who was, and I was saying, oh, look, I think, we could do with a couple of seasons in the Championship. Now, not that even getting to the Premier League is ever any kind of foregone conclusion. But I said, we don't have a training ground yet. We don't, it'd be good to have the COP built. And then I was thinking, they're not going to hang around, are they? They're just going to start, they're going to throw money at it straight away, aren't they? Tim?
Sorry.
Anyone?
No, but yeah, well, I think so, yeah. I can't see any reason why they wouldn't. I mean, like you said, it's still weird. It's surreal. Like 2 years ago, yesterday, we were at Torquay, you know, and now we're
bloody hell.
and
That's
now we're
mad.
now we're on our way to Portsmouth and Watford, and you know, it's crazy, and we're in the same position as what we were 12 months ago, where we're like, oh yeah, it'd be great to see how we get on. Let's just enjoy the ride, and if we stabilize and then go in a few years, then so be it. So you genuinely don't know what to expect. All we do know is that we are going to be paying some bigger fees for some bigger players to tweak and revamp certain areas of this squad because it's going to be needed. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait for the idea that that at some point maybe we'll be creeping around those playoff positions, even if it's after like the first 2 games, and we have that bounce and we pick up 4 points. That's amazing, you know. So I can't see any reason why they wouldn't go for it. But you know, the money is there, and the extra revenue and spotlight that comes with that as well, the sort of supplementary income, and we're gonna be that almost like we're going to be sharing the hatred with Millwall as that club that everybody dislikes. Like, how dare you get to this level? Who do you think you are? And I like the fact that we're now more of a smaller fish in a big pond, and it becomes a bit more of an underdog story again, doesn't it?
It's come full circle. We're in underdogs again. Now, someone was saying to me last night in the pub that he thinks there'll be more outside investment. He actually mentioned a group, like a hedge fund called the Remington, who apparently backed Ryan when he went for the Ottawa Senators, I think. Remember that when he was bidding for that NFL club?
Somebody mentioned that to me the other week, and I thought he said Remington. I thought, is that like
the Kayam? I bought the company. I said, that guy, and he goes, no, it's not him. But it just got me thinking, if more investment comes in, these guys are not going to hang about, are they? They're going to get that cop built. They'll probably revamp the other stands. They'll get the training ground. They won't want 2 or 3 seasons consolidating in the Championship. If there's a chance that we can start and do well like we did in League One, they will take it, and they will spend big to make it happen for us. The key to all this investment and all this keeping the club together is Ryan and Rob. They need to be the figureheads on this. And even if, you know, they're not putting millions in themselves, they are the people who keep this all together and make this such a viable option. And they're the people who will drive it through off and on field sort of, you know, off and on field sort of structure. And fair play to them. They were there yesterday. I was great to see Mickey Thomas with them.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
He got a great reception, didn't he?
Yeah, good.
Absolutely. The magic little man came in the... got us out of the mess, should we say, over at the road at the Mice Square before that. Him and Andy Morel, a phenomenal job of getting all the fans in there off the game. When you speak to Ryan, there's a post there that he's put on, well, this is on Facebook. I just think it's worth reading out, and try and keep your eyes dry, lad. But yeah, we've been with Wrexham for what seems like the blink of an eye, but so much has happened. I remember the first press conference, we were asked about what our goals were, and Rob jumped in with the Premier League. People laughed. They had every right to. It seemed insane, but we weren't kidding. I feel at home here. It's a place that values community, decency, and history. From the respect it pays to the Gresford disaster to the feeling, the hope and miracles created by Mickey Thomas. These are big reasons Wrexham has grown into what it always was. It isn't just a place with a history of ups and downs. It's also a feeling, and a feeling is sometimes as good or better than a memory. We made history. We've been promoted for a record 3rd time in a row. That doesn't happen without the wisdom of Phil Parkinson and his coaching staff, or the talent of a Paul Mullin. It doesn't happen without Max Cleworth and Arthur Okonkwo, or Mark Howard, who may have one of the hardest jobs there is. I watched Sam Smith create a frightening blend between football and martial arts, of course, brilliant, scoring our 2nd goal yesterday. The stadium feels like a church. I know so many of you now. Since February 2021, I've watched babies become regulars and some regulars depart us for good. We've had the honour to scatter ashes of loved ones across the field. I've even watched every available hand shovel snow off the pitch to keep a match from cancellation. Somebody said the Welsh have the heart of a poet and the fist of a fighter. That's what I love about this place. I wish the whole world could visit Wrexham. Diolch. Just perfect.
Says it all. Bloody hell.
I know.
You know he means every word of that, like heartfelt. You know, it's not bluster. It's not.
No.
It's not like a marketing ploy. It's all genuine. People know that now. People can see it, and you know that you'd have to have a heart of stone to not go, I really want to dislike him. You know, even if you're a fan of Chester or whatever, you kind of want to dislike him for the obvious reasons. But it's hard not to, because of the way they are and the fact that they followed up with everything they said they were going to do.
Thank you, lads. Basically,
Yeah.
Fucking
Shall
hell.
we talk about, before we turn back to on-field stuff, and maybe we could discuss next season's where we want to go, where we're looking forward to, that off the field impact, which we kind of don't touch on as much in this podcast. But I mean, even if you just go away from sort of the cliches and you know, the stuff about community, and just look at the economic impact, it's massive, isn't it? When you just go to the bars, clubs, even if you just take the turf as a case study.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't even need to just be the turf. I mean, the Fat Ball, who I neglected to mention, are our fantastic sponsors.
You're slipping, Pollard.
Whoa, I'm not hosting. I'm
you
not
can't
hosting
blame
today.
him. It was
I'm
my
not
lad.
hosting today. I was going to bring it in and segue it in somewhere, but Reese has got in there, so we're good. We're fine.
I saved my job. I mean, it's massive, isn't it? I mean, the spend, and the Americans have a lot of money generally, and the people that are coming over are spending it, and it's having a massive impact on the town. Isn't it?
Town's absolutely bouncing last night. Like the high street was just rammed with people. The bars were busy. The pubs were busy. The shop on the corner of the high street, wherever the off license, where everyone was just going and buying cans, did a very good trade. One of my friends got some cigars, so yeah, everything. I think the town did very well financially out of yesterday. I want to mention a big thanks to our friend Mox, who took us out to the carnivore earlier in the week. You just see how much, you know, American fans have bought into what Wrexham is, and again, there's a temptation to be cynical about that, and you occasionally see, you know, the odd fan locally, not many to be fair. You know, we've given American fans a big warm welcome, but there's occasionally the odd one who goes, oh, you know, all these Americans taking the tickets. They've bought into it massively. They love this club, and you know, basically just everyone's fucking welcome, because why wouldn't you want to share this with people? You know, it's just pretty special.
Yeah, it comes down to that. There's always that question of like, what makes a top red? And it's like, just don't be a dickhead. If you're a Wrexham fan, doesn't matter if you've been a Wrexham fan for 40 years, 50 years, or 2 weeks. If you're there supporting the town in whatever way you can, whether that's at the ground or from home, and you're not an absolute arsehole about things, you're a top red. Nice and simple. There's no gateway here. It's just like, come on in, come and join the party, come and join the circus. Roll up, roll up.
Roll up indeed. Shall we turn really quickly? We don't want to do too long of a podcast today because we're all very low on energy levels and feeling a little bit delicate. But shall we just talk about next season a little bit? I mean, before we turn to some of the opposition that we're all looking forward to playing, do we have any rumours about play? What do we make of Jamie Vardy, for example? Liam, you wrote about this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I wrote about it, but I my strong gut feeling is that it is just that. It is paper talk, basically, because
A great signing, though, wouldn't it?
It would, and you know, some people were saying, "Oh, we don't need him," and it's another old sign. If he's still a very very good player, and he's one of these who's adapted his game. He's still got quite a bit of pace for someone of his age, but he's also adapted his game. You know, his short game in the box and stuff like that. He's, you know, he's not slack. He's a bit like McLean, keeps himself in peak condition. So if we could pull it off, I would absolutely be in favour of it, even with all the history and everything. But I just think he's that loyal to Leicester. You know, he's given them. He could have gone to Arsenal during his career. He's given them his best years. Is he going to want to be pulling on the shirt of one of their opposition next season? I just don't see it. I reckon,
Really?
you know, like an MLS club maybe.
Saudi, maybe. There's a lot of money to be made in Saudi.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, it's like, I know we talk about him and what it was like during the the famous 2011 season, but actually he's a fantastic player, and he'll deserve his payday if he wants to go off and do a year, you know, abroad or something as a swan song. You know, why wouldn't you? It's just that thing of him putting on a shirt against Leicester. I just don't see it of another team.
I mean, do they have Blue Wicked in Saudi? Is that a thing? Is he gonna be all right over there for that? But no, fair play to him. What a professional. Absolute shithouse. Him and Richard Brody, bunch of bell ends when obviously the terror season there. But I mean, I knew as soon as I saw that the Sky Sports breaking news, Jamie Vardy to leave Leicester, it was like I knew straight away, like, we're gonna get linked with this. Bang on. And a lot of it is from what I gather, there's no concrete source. It's just speculation of just like so and so in whichever. I think it was like Talksport. Maybe there was a writer for Talksport that was the first one to go, and the story was Jamie Vardy to go to Wrexham. And all it is just an opinion piece. And it's like, there's no actual concrete source to this. It's just like, wouldn't that make sense? As in, we've got a lot of money. We're coming up through the leagues. We got the Hollywood glitz. He's coming down from Leicester. But
and well, the thing is that there's obviously no source behind it, but he fits the profile bang on, doesn't he?
Oh, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
A professional, older, let's face it, the type of player that hardworking, that Parky would be, I'm sure he'd fit very well in our system. Any other rumours about Tim? Is there anyone you'd be targeting? This is early talk, obviously. Gosh, it's only April.
Yeah, we've not finished the season yet.
I genuinely am not bothered. I'm not bothered. Just to bring it back again to yesterday's game, for me, it was about enjoying the players that we got, because we don't know if any of these players are going to be here next season, and I love the fact that every one of those players got individually serenaded by the tech end yesterday, one by one, getting pushed out and enjoying that adulation individually. It was great. It's great to see Mullin doing his fist pumps and getting involved. We've seen the James McClean kind of Jesus pose that Mullin did, in previous seasons. And I think it's a special group, and I think Parky, as he has done in previous times, he's got to be careful not to disrupt it too much, because that team ethic and that team bond can take you a very long way, and it's proven once again. So, in terms of who he brings in, the Vardy thing is, again, it is paper talk, I think. But the fact that we're getting linked with players like that tells you all you need to know as to where we are in the current, climate of football, really. So, I just think it's great. I think it's great that people like him are linked. It's never going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see why. I think we probably need somebody a little bit younger. I think we'll utilize the loan system a bit more than we ever have done. So
We've been saying that for 3 seasons, though, haven't we?
Yeah, it's going to happen. I don't know. I think I have to.
Didn't we ask Harvey about
that? Yeah,
we asked Harvey about that, and from his answer, I didn't get the impression. I don't know. I didn't get a strong sense that we were going to really use it, because he was basically just explaining. I can't remember what the hell he said now. Someone might have to remind me.
He said that we're not. It's not that we're anti the loan market. It's just, can we bring someone in more permanently, and is it a better option in the loan market? Now, the only thing I would say about going up in the Championship, it opens up the very top Premier League youngsters. They don't want your Lewis Kumas or the guy Dan's. So Liverpool don't want him playing in League One.
Yeah,
they want them playing at Championship level.
I remember Conor Gallagher at Swansea a couple of seasons ago, those kinds of signings,
Yeah, so they become open to us now, and I think clubs would want them to come here because there's a lot of pressure on them, and they want to see how they deal with the pressure. I do actually think 2 or 3 quality loan signings would mean that we can keep the nucleus of this squad together. And I think there will be incomings. I think we'll probably break our transfer record again. I do think strikers are key in this division.
I do have a striker rumour.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So this is a bit out of the blue, but so a Wrexham fan who's big into his Scottish football has been speaking to a friend from Kilmarnock, and their friend says Wrexham are apparently favourites to sign Bobby Wales from Kilmarnock. Good name for a Wrexham player. They'd only have to pay a development fee, as he's out of contract in the summer. Absolute star in the making. Needs a bit of work with regards to using his physicality to defend the ball and making the right pass, but has unbelievable skill on the ball, and he is a pleasure to watch. Plenty of clubs interested, including Celtic, but I get the feeling he will go to a Championship club. So he's a young.
We are now a Championship club.
Yes, we are.
This keeps dropping into my head. Jesus.
Yeah. He's 19 years old. So sort of a young prospect as opposed to a, experienced pro, but no, I'm just thinking about the Championship club thing.
I know. Yeah. It's nuts.
But as soon as you mention that, there's other things that's computing in my head now. It's like, okay, we don't need to enter the FA Cup until the 3rd round by default now. It wasn't that long ago we were in the 4th qualifying round, and now we're in the 3rd round automatically. There's no clashes now for international breaks, so Wrexham fans who support Wales are not going to have that dilemma like was the other week with Stockport. So, the riches, the unspoiled riches coming our way.
And to our any listeners who are sort of a bit new to this and newish to British football, the Championship is an absolutely elite league. Like, in terms of, it's just a great regular.
top six league in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, and regularly, and I mean in terms of entertainment as well, because regularly a couple of wins can move you from 17th to 9th. That middle is really tight.
Coventry are a good example of that. They were the relegation zone before Lampard came in. And by the way, we've already beaten Coventry, so
hey, strap in.
That's a marker.
Is there room? Shall we talk about next week briefly? Just a free hit now. A la Torquay.
You know what I'd love? And it's
Paul
not
Mullin start up front.
That's what I was going to ask.
I'd like Mullin and Palmer to start up front. I really
would.
Really? Start them up front?
Start them both up front. No, he won't do it. I know he won't do it. But I mean,
it's like when Luke Young was left and Luke Young, everybody was like, oh, well, obviously Luke Young has to play. And it's like, no, we're not doing that. And it was ridiculous, but I think you have to. We talk about today was a free hit in terms of we had that second game to go against Lincoln, but like in terms of a free hit, as in there is nothing on the line for this game. Anybody that maybe has a chance to leave in the summer, just give them a run out. Paul Mullin deserves a run out. Ollie Palmer deserves a run out. Whether they stay or whether they go, just because of how they've done over the years for us and the way things have gone this second half of the season, it would be criminal for me if we don't go with that.
He's not going to. He's too professional. He's too professional to do it.
Yeah. I agree with Andy. I think he's going to want to finish the season on a high. Difficult to eclipse yesterday, but like when the fixtures came out and I saw Lincoln, and you know what I'm going to talk about now, but it was particularly poignant. And I thought, imagine if we do something this season, because I've been to Lincoln a few times in the National League when we played them and so on, and a couple of decent games down there, but. Our last game in the EFL before we got relegated out of the league into non-league was at Lincoln, and it was a carnival day party atmosphere, weird in a weird way. We won it handsomely. I think it was 40, wasn't it? Yeah. And if you'd have told me then that obviously in future, a quite distant future has to be said, that we would return there one day, with our last game being in League One to go to the Championship. I mean, you would have said you were crazy. And so it's an absolute full circle moment. I can't wait to go. I'm going to spend the weekend down there. And I'm probably going to feel more emotional next week than I was yesterday, in all honesty, just for that particular reason. I'm going to try and track down the guy who gave me his scarf on the pitch at Lincoln.
Yeah, he did say about that. That'd be fantastic.
Could we sign those lads on a short-term contract, the boys who played in that game in 2008? And
you named them.
Get Simon Spender, right wing back.
Spence was around yesterday. I saw him in my square. He was just randomly walking around.
Levi Mackin, what's he up to these days?
Yeah.
But just the fact that you can go there now and just enjoy it, and everybody's got tickets, will be loving it. I imagine a few people might decide not to go, so there's opportunities for other people to go now. But I can't wait. It's going to be great, and I think there's supposedly going to be like a fancy dress kind of theme to it again this season. Not bananas fighting in the street.
On that, I believe I was speaking to Aled Roberts. God love him. What a lad.
Has he told you?
He told me about his fancy dress. He told me about that yesterday, and I'm like, this is going to be fantastic.
I thought mine was bad. I mean, his is going to be outrageous. Outrageous. What a guy.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about, just to randomly segue in, we talked about Wales before and about the international breaks. Did anybody else yesterday, when Max Clever put in that ball for that third goal, anybody else get the Chris Gunter, Sam Vokes vibes from the Belgium game? that was for me. That was just that moment of, we can't be caught here. Just the belief was like, it was over the line. It was a case of, we're done. That's it. It was the same feeling I got with Sam Vokes pop that header in. Obviously, Chris Coleman of I don't think we could swear on this, but it was like, Chrissy, don't you dare cross that ball, and he did. And that was the same vibe yesterday. Max Cleworth, that ball, that header, and it was just that third goal of, we're done. We're safe.
How much is it? How much is he worth, by the way?
Cleworth, yeah.
How much is Cleworth?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to entertain offers for him at this point in time. I don't think
we don't need to. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think that moment was just, I think there was a lot of people had that same sort of sentiment of like, just that's we're over the line. There's a lady who sits a couple of seats down from me, and I see her every game, and it's always like, oh, you're right, hello. Don't know her name. She's lovely, but we don't speak as much. yesterday she was sobbing, flooding the tears when that third goal went in, and it's just like the big hugs, and that was just the vibe yesterday. Just big hugs, lots of emotion, lots of tears of celebration, lots of not to dwell out too much, but lots of tears for people who were no longer with us, who didn't get to enjoy the moment, but were there in spirit. It was, yeah, big day,
What a day,
big happy day.
And what a day in the and we're having lots of those at the moment in the last few years.
Yeah.
But they're just getting better and better. Gilpo, we won't talk player of the season because we'll do that in the weeks and months ahead. But why don't you just give us some of your highlights from this season and some of the players that you think have really stood up?
I think one of my highlights from this season has been the Wrexham is the game newsletter, which you can sign up to for £15 for the first year, and it's absolutely
When
amazing.
does the introductory offer run out, for the love of God?
Well, I'm in negotiations to keep it going.
What?
So you get to hear about it every bloody week. Tim, if you could put the actual Substack link in to sign in on, please. Are we talking about players or are we talking about moments?
Both.
I don't know, mate. Whatever you want. Whatever you want to say.
Best away atmosphere, Peterborough away. Loved that day. Loved it. Great. We got a good chant going. It was ringing around my ears for the next couple of days. We played really well. We were really professional. I think best home match. I can't look past yesterday. We were great. Player of the season. Well,
So let's leave player of the season. Let's do highlights. We're going to discuss player of the future. Tim, what been your home and away highlights this year?
Oh God, so many to pick from. For some bizarre reason, that the Charlton one stays with me, and I know it was a draw.
Me too.
And we should have won it, but I think for me, that away end and the fact that it was 2,500, 3,000 of us down in deepest London and making a right racket as a proper old school big ground. I just loved every aspect of that. That kind of felt like you know what, we kind of belong here. And it turns out we actually belong at a high level. So you knew. So that was a particular highlight. And then always fun to smash Shrewsbury at home. But again, the last two games, if you bookend those last two games as the perfect representation of what Wrexham Football Club are about, it's those two. Everything about what you want from your football club, from the atmosphere, from the owners to the effort, everything was there in those two games. So if anybody ever asked me, "Oh, tell me a bit about Wrexham," if you've never heard of it, I would show them those two games because it shows what we're capable of doing.
Liam?
Just trying to think off the top of my head. I really enjoyed the Barnsley game. Really enjoyed the Barnsley game at home. Just for that Ollie Rathbone 92nd minute screamer. I think wasn't that the game they showed at that Cosm place, I think. And you thought, oh no, Rob McElhenney's shown his mates a stinker again. And then just out of nowhere, you get this absolute screamer from Rathbone. And that, in terms of talking about individuals as well, I think for me, he's been so crucial. He's just, I just love his sort of scrappy do kind of attitude. But at the same time, he's really added goals to his game this season. Is he on 8 now for the season? 8 or 9? But either way, that's the most he's ever scored in a season, I think he said. So he's added something to his game. And that little set-piece routine yesterday was just perfect. It was so well executed. I think they've got to have been planning that, haven't they?
Yeah, that was... And you saw there was a bit of blocking going on in the box as well. That they were obviously the attackers were blocking the defenders from running out. Just very smart, classic Parky. Save that one for the games that matter.
That was the loudest noise I've ever heard at the racecourse. By the way, when that goal went in,
really,
I thought my fucking eardrum had burst. It was just, like earth-shatteringly loud. It was great. Loved it.
And it was and he's a great character as well, isn't he? I'm looking forward to watching him in the documentary because he seems a hell of a laugh. I'll go Charlton away. Absolutely loved it. Same as Tim. Amazing atmosphere, and we really should have won that one, but still was a good trip up with the South Wales Reds. Home, I thought I didn't get as many home games as I would have liked this year, unfortunately, including yesterday, obviously. Reading early in the season, I enjoyed 3-0. That was I think it was August, September, quite early on. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, we're actually going to do all right here. We just beaten Reading 3-0, absolutely coasted it. And yeah, we were right. AP, what stands out for you?
I don't know. Again, I don't want to talk too much of this because I feel like I'm just going to cry at any second. I'm
Just
an emotional
cry.
guy at the best
Just
of times.
cry. Just cry.
This is like a
Just
group
cry and go
session.
viral.
Yeah, actually, it made me cry. Get the cat in here, we'll be fine. Just in terms of moments, well, in terms of games, I think if you're looking home and away, again, to echo some of the sentiments, I think you just look at the last two games, that they are the encapsulation of what we're about and what we can do. Especially when, I don't want to say our backs were against the wall totally, but on the back of that Bristol Rovers result, and obviously Wigan as well, I think that was the character we have in this squad, the character we have in terms of the management, and not just Parky, but those around him. Lovely video of Steve Parky going around as well today with the three, just in the changing rooms, all the lads steaming. Fantastic. But in terms of just individual moments and stuff, again, it goes back to like yesterday. I can't get over yesterday. That's one of the biggest games I've been there for. Just from like the first minute where you see an Ollie Rathbone put a block in, or Jay Rodriguez as well, but a really good, like within the first like 90 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds. Just that the intent we had. That is the stuff that will stay with me from this season. But in terms of like moments and goals, I mean, Moles against Blackpool
That was a
at
brilliant
home.
goal. That's got to be
the
goal of
fog.
the season. That is such a good
Well,
goal.
yes, I thought
Maybe.
that, and yeah, it is. I think maybe we'll have a great discussion about that over the next few weeks, maybe over the summer, about the goals of the season, plays of the season. But just the angle I had of that, I was right behind Paul when he hit it, and it's just in the fog, and it was just what a goal on his left foot on the volley, bang. I think the other one for me though is the opening day against Wickham, Jack Marriott's goal. Just and there is that thing of, you look at like what would have happened if Jack Marriott didn't get injured. Would he have carried on that form? Would he have dropped off? What would have happened? It's yeah, he was another one in Ironworks last night. There was a lot of players in Ironworks last night. Jack Marriott was one. There was Ollie Palmer. There was a bunch of them. But yeah, no, I think moments. You look at some of the big saves Arthur had as well. It's just, yeah, you could literally go through every single player, which I feel like I'm starting to do, so I'll stop. But yeah,
well, we got plenty. We got all summer to do it. We'll be going over the
exactly.
season with a fine tooth comb. Shall we move on then to talk quickly? Maybe just a sentence each on Parky. Where, at what point, this has come up a few times recently, hasn't it? When we start with you, Gilpo, at what point do we say he's our greatest ever manager?
It's like, for me, it's like, who's your favorite James Bond? Well, it's the one you grow up with. And so for me, even though he didn't achieve much success, Brian Flynn will always be my favorite manager. Now, in terms of stats and success, yes, it is Parky. He has had a lot of money to spend, but he's spent it wisely, and he's got a good team around him, and he's given us what we brought him in for, maybe even ahead of schedule as well. So for absolute pure business case management, it has to be Phil Parkinson. But for me, it's still Brian Flynn.
Why don't you marry him?
Yeah.
Why don't you marry him?
And Andy Marriott can be the vicar. So,
Tim, is Parky our greatest ever manager?
Hands down, undisputed, the greatest. How can he not be? He's just done something that's never been done before. And I don't think anybody else would have done it. Genuinely, like at the time when we appointed him, I was the same as everybody else, a little bit lukewarm, because it sort of didn't quite happen for him at Sunderland. So, but I mean, what a guy! He's conducted himself so well. He gets pelters, not so long ago, still getting pelters for certain tactics and ways of dealing with games. But he knows how to win. He knows how to win football matches. He knows how to get promotions. How many he's had now? 6 or 7 promotions he's had. That's just madness. It's madness. And, I think we take it for granted sometimes that, we're lucky to still have him. We're lucky to still have him. Yeah. A bigger club could have taken a punt on him and gone, you know what, he's doing really well there. So I think, hands down, he is the best, not just because of what he's achieved, but it's how he's done it, and under such public scrutiny.
Liam and AP in one sentence.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yes. Good. Love it. AP.
I'm going the Gilpo route of stats and paper. Yeah, he is. But for me, it's Brian Flynn. It's always Brian Flynn. I mean, you look at Arvin, you look at John Neal, you look at Sir Dennis Smith. But I mean, Parky. If you, it's one of those where if you told me Phil Parkinson was the greatest manager of all time, I would not argue with you. That's what I'm going to say. For me, for what he had to work with, Brian Flynn, because he had didn't have a pot to piss in. But yeah,
that's a
fair
build
the statue. Build the
statue.
I
feel like this is going to be a debate that rumbles on, and let's see how things turn next season. Are we going to have an open top bus parade, a la National League?
You've got to win the championship for an open top. How about
they've 3 promotions in a row? That's the thing that deserves the parade.
Can we get a triple decker?
Yeah. Oh, imagine it.
Oh, are they going to Las Vegas? Are they going to Las Vegas again? It's never been discussed, has it?
They deserved some sort of massive celebration, don't they? Because I mean, it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened until now. So I don't know.
I love the fact Andy's like dreaming that there's an ice cream van passing. He wants to celebrate.
He looks like a bird. He looks like a rare bird with the way
he's. I just heard an ice cream van go. I was thinking, could I get a Flake 99? That would be brilliant. That's exactly what I need.
Andy, can I just say as well, what a lovely painting that is behind your head.
Oh yeah, I did this last night when I came in.
Is it made out of vomit? Is that
it? Funny. Right, we're just going to ramble on. So let's just do one more topic, which is where are you looking forward to go next season? Tim.
Watford, because I used to live that way and I used to cover some games, so that's always good. And I don't think I've ever been there to watch Wrexham. I might have done, but it was a long time ago. Portsmouth, never been to Fratton Park. West Brom, big, massive ground, not a million miles away. So those are the Norwich. Never seen us play Norwich. I don't think, certainly not in my lifetime. I don't think I've ever been to East Anglia. So Norwich and Ipswich, all that. Nice. I can't.
I think he's just named the whole league, hasn't he?
I've named 4. Somebody else will go. Sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited and tired and in pain.
But it is that kind of league, though, isn't it? There's just every fixture will be blockbuster almost. Liam.
I'll go for Leicester, just from what they've achieved, and I'm quite amazed that we'll be playing them next year. So that'll be a good one.
AP.
Now Tim. Oh God, my voice is broke there. I've just hit a puberty, lads. Mid podcast, fantastic. That'll be all the chances over the weekend. On a personal level, an old friend of mine passed away. He's an Ipswich fan, so I'd like to go to Ipswich. I've only been to Ipswich once, which was for a funeral. But on a cheery note, we can go there to play them. Also, I'd like to go if they don't get up in the playoffs. I'd love to go to Sunderland. I think that just looks like a great day out. And I've got a few mates who are Mackhams. So yeah, and obviously Carlos Edwards, massive Sunderland legend there, who got them over the line to the Premier League. So yeah, they're my 2: Ipswich and Sunderland.
Gilpo.
I'm in the high 70s on the 92, and the championship is going to take me very, very close.
That's impressive.
It's the vinegar stroke.
There's so many clubs I haven't been to in there, but the one I am looking forward to is Preston. Never been there. My mate at work is from Preston, and he always took the piss about how far what part we were in the leagues. There is actually a chance that Preston could go down and we'd actually leapfrog them, which would be hilarious for me. But Preston, we've always said that if we do play, we push the boat out and really give it a good go up there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I went to Preston on a stag do. When I went to Liverpool on a stag do, we went to watch Swansea Preston. It's an interesting place. So it's actually, you will fit right in. So I don't blame you.
What do you mean I will fit right in?
It's a fantastic place full of fabulous people, clearly.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. Yeah, okay.
That's lovely.
I'm, for obvious reasons, for long-term listeners will know, I'm based in Swansea, so I'm delighted about that. And it's great that we'll have a Welsh derby next season.
Yes, just one, by the way.
I know, just one. I cannot believe it. I've been waiting 2 decades to have Wrexham Cardiff, Wrexham Swansea to even be an option, and Cardiff go and get effing relegated. So that's a shame. But yeah, it's we could be the number 1 team in Wales, and on a personal level, I endured a lot of stick in school.
Wedgies.
An awful lot, which turned to pity. I missed that, Liam, but thanks.
Nuggies and wedgies.
Nuggies and wedgies, yeah. Bumsies, we discussed this before, didn't we?
Whoa! What are bumsies? What are bumsies?
We
You
did.
can't just drop that in.
It's what I believe you guys call red arse.
What is red arse?
Headers and volleys. Against the wall. Whoever loses, they must have and he whacked the ball against them behind. It's a fun playground game.
That was not how I played heads and volleys. There was no bumsies or wedgies or red arses. It was just heads and volleys. Anyway,
but back to the point. I will be very, 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 very pleased if we were the number 1 team in Wales next year. So that's that. Let's hope. And Bristol City is local to me. I just sound really boring tonight, but less travel. It's an expensive hobby. Any other comments, gents, that we want to make? Thank you. Go on.
I've got one. So there's a lot of people who have done brilliant jobs in getting us where we are. Obviously the owners, obviously the people they've brought in behind the scenes, the likes of Sean Harvey and Fleur and the other people and Michael Williamson now. The players, Phil Parkinson, but there's one guy who has been there all the way through, has fought fires when this club was on its arse, has now quite rightfully helped us get to the highest position in our lifetimes. So step forward, Geraint Parry.
Yes.
What an absolute legend. Yeah. Like when I was a Cub reporter, he was so good to me. Like even when I email him now, he must be the most stressed guy in the world, but he will always reply, always do his best to help. He is the human face of Wrexham FC, and I'm so glad he's tasting the success now, and I just hope his job's got a little bit easier than it was 15 years ago when the poor fella was climbing the walls. So, Geraint, this one's for you.
Very well said, and what a fantastic note to end the podcast on. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for engaging. Lots more stuff to come.
I have to have a quick one. Just the well wishes for the Wrexham women today, who before we recording this, obviously they were playing later today in the Butte Energy Cup final against Cardiff. So best wishes to the girls there.
Yes, fingers crossed they can bring it home on what would be an unbelievable weekend for Wrexham. But for now, everyone, we're going to go and lie down in the dark room. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your celebrations.
No, I'm out on the piss.
Back to back.
No.
Oh, let's out.
All right. Cheers, everyone. See you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.